Everyone. Today, we are so proud to share the news about our community water. So today, as mentioned, the Texas Commission on Environmental approved City of Corpus Christi permit for the Inner Harbor water treatment. City of Corpus Christi will have the first large-scale municipally owned and operated seawater desalination plant in the United States. We will move forward a 36 million gallon a day facility of potable water for the entire coastal bend region. For reference, today, system wide, we are using approximately 90 million gallons of water per day. With this project alone, we are putting more than 1/3 of our current water supply online. And to report on status of our progress, the city has completed site selection. We have sold over $230 million in bonds. We've secured funding from the Texas Water Development Board in low interest loans, and we have hired a world-class contractor in Kiewit. We anticipate that the engineering will be approximately 60% completed by the end of this year, and construction will begin in January of 2026. So this facility is slated to go online in June of 2028. So today's historic decision by the TCEQ commissioners represents a crucial milestone in securing water not only for our direct community, but for the entire region. And this achievement reflects also years of years of strong leadership, environmental stewardship, and a commitment to the future prosperity of the city of Corpus Christi and the entire coastal bend region. This is one of the most important and one of the most historic decisions from the TCEQ for the city of Corpus Christi. I'd also like to thank our state leadership for their strong support and efforts throughout the years. This includes, of course, our governor, Greg Abbott, state senators Chuy Hinojosa and Adam Hinojosa, state representatives Todd Hunter, Denise Villalobos, and J.M. Lozano. And lastly, we're very grateful to our Railroad Commissioner, Jim Wright, for all of his efforts in this endeavor as well. And now I'd like to introduce Drew Molly, our Chief Operating Officer for the Corpus Christi.
Thank you, Mayor. This is truly a historic moment for Corpus Christi and the entire region. By summer of 2028, Inner Harbor Water Treatment Campus will produce up to 36 million gallons a day of drinking water, a drought-proof supply that will complement our traditional water sources. After evaluating 21 sites, we selected the Inner Harbor as the optimal site based on 4 priorities of affordability for our residents, environmental sustainability, and reliable water supply regardless of climate conditions. Today's milestone ensures that the coastal bend region will have the water security it needs to thrive long into the future. We're excited to move forward with construction and bring this critical resource online for the residents and businesses of the coastal bend. This achievement demonstrates our commitment to securing a sustainable water future for our community. And with that said, I invite Elisa to come back up for some questions.
Thank you, Mayor Guajardo. Thank you, Drew. We now invite members of the media to ask questions. Please state your name, the media outlet that you represent, and the person who you're asking to answer the question.
Good morning, Mayor Drew. Appreciate your time. Bill Churchwell, KIII, Channel 3. This question is for Mr. Molly. With the approval of the discharge permit, will we still see a test pilot plant before full-scale construction? And what does that timeline look like?
Right, so I think I heard the question, Bill, about the pilot plant. So the pilot plant really is a demonstration system that is going to be set up by our design builder, Kiewit. Kiewit is going to, they're in the process of securing the technology vendor that is going to be building this pilot. The anticipated start is in the late spring timeframe. So we're looking at having this pilot built in the May to June timeframe. And then we're going to basically run this pilot for at least 90 days. And so really the purpose of this pilot is to demonstrate the technology that we have on a smaller scale. It's the same type of equipment. It's just not as many of the devices that we're going to use and the equipment, the assets that we're going to build. This is a TCQ requirement. It's something that helps us ensure that we have most optimal treatment processes as we build the full-scale project.
And Drew, we heard from State Rep Denise Villalobos about the economic impact during today's hearing. When the desal plant is up and running, will it be enough to sustain future industry and residential growth? If not, what other measures are being taken?
So I think I heard the question, Bill, as far as the economic impact. We have said many times that this project is really huge for the entire region. We know that this is a new water supply. This is something that our legislative leadership has been talking about for a long time in Austin. This is something that benefits all of our different customers that we serve every day in the coastal bend. We know that we live in a landscape of drought in our part of the world, and we know that we need to develop other water supplies besides surface water. So we believe that this is a very, very great step for us moving forward in terms of having that drought-proof water supply that we've been talking about for many years.
Now, Drew, we did see that outburst during the vote as a reassurance to the community. If you can still hear me over there, the monitor is going in and out on our end. But will there be any kind of monitoring or on environmental impacts when the plant is up and running?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, this is a process that takes time. It takes time to go through this process. And we've seen this process move forward, and it has taken some time for good reasons, right? There is a process that has to happen. And so part of that process is certainly making sure that the environmental work that needs to be done to safeguard our environment is there. And that those steps have been taken. We have been working very closely with the TCEQ over the years. The EPA has been involved in this process as well as numerous federal agencies. And so we believe that the process today has worked out in terms of all of the agencies that have a role to play in ensuring that the environmental stewardship was met today. And so we believe that that is a good process that we've gone through, and we feel like we have assured not just the regulatory agencies, but certainly we have been working closely with our community stakeholders to make sure that this project meets all the environmental standards that we believe very strongly in.
Appreciate that, Drew. One more question for you. This is a question we have received from the community. What will happen to the brine or the salt that's taken out of the processed water? Where does that go?
Right. So the brine is discharged into the ship channel. The ship channel is a approximately 54-foot deep man-made waterway. And so that brine is discharged into the ship channel of the Port of Corpus Christi.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
There we go. Hi, everybody. Suzanne Stevens, Chris 6 News. Have a couple questions for Mayor Guajardo. Residents and environmental groups actively tried to block this, and they were denied. What is your response to their concerns, and do you believe their voices were adequately considered in this process?
Yeah, so throughout the process, we have heard their concerns, and we've met with them, and we've gone over everything that we have submitted to the agencies that today gave us this permit. So it's been a very transparent process, and I think that today speaks for itself. We've gone through every possible, requirement that has been asked. This isn't something that happened, over a year's time. This is over 10 years' time that we have been working on this initiative because it's a very serious one, and we care very much about every aspect of it. And so, yes, I think that they have been heard, and we have followed everything that we were supposed to do. So, yeah.
Going forward, though, how are you going to ensure that residents continue to have a voice and they feel that they're being heard?
residents always have a voice, and they will continue to always have a voice, because you have they have 9 members of their council that they elect to be their voice. And like we say, there are many ways to do that. People are very welcome to reach out to every council member by way of telephone, by way of city hall, sitting down with them in person, by way of public comment, in council every Tuesday, and of course by way of email. But nonetheless, there is never a situation where council and our residents, our constituents, shouldn't have a way of communication and be heard, regardless of what side they're on.
Thank you, Mayor. These next couple of questions are for Drew Molly. Mr. Molly, what assurances can you give residents that brine discharge into the Inner Harbor won't negatively impact water quality, marine life, or industries that rely on the port?
Well, I'll tell you, thank you for the question. Again, we go back to the long process that is part of the environmental stewardship, right? So we had to do a lot of modeling. We did that modeling over a long period of time. TCQ had to do their own modeling, independent of ours, to prove the science, and that science was proven. Now, I will tell you that the permit itself has the ability to, so we're going to be, essentially monitoring the discharge. And if there is anything that happens as a result of changes, we have the ability to reevaluate. And so at the end of the day, this permit is an active permit. And so we have a strong sense that we will be we will comply with that permit.
As a follow-up to that monitoring systems you keep talking about, will those be publicly available?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Everything that we are talking about and everything that we are doing today is absolutely part of the process in terms of being open and transparent.
If the desal plant moves forward but fails to meet expectations, whether due to cost, inefficiency, or environmental damage, what contingency plans does the city have in place right now?
Well, I can tell you this. We have been working on this for a long time, and I can also tell you that there are lots of desal plants all around the world, and so I would say that we have a great team that's behind the scenes here. We talk a little bit about the team that was selected to design and build this plant. The name of that company is Kiewit. Kiewit has a long history of being able to deliver projects on time and within budget. They've also had a lot of success building the largest desal plant in the United States. And so we feel with our team that we have selected, Kiewit being the design builder, with the technical team that we have behind us, we feel like we are putting ourselves in a very strong position to absolutely exceed the requirements that have been set forth in this permit.
What guarantees can you give to your constituents that this desal plant is a long-term solution and not just an expensive gamble at this point?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think what's most important is that we live in Corpus Christi. My family lives in Corpus Christi, and we enjoy what Corpus Christi has to offer. And so I can tell you, and I can certainly rest assured the community, that we are doing everything to exceed the standards that have been put upon us. And we respect the fact that this process takes time because we know we have to get it right. And so I would say that that is my assurance that I live every day with in terms of meeting those requirements and exceeding them to the degree that we can. So I feel like we have a very good project here in front of us. I believe it meets all the requirements that we have put in front of ourselves in terms of providing that affordability, in terms of providing that sustainability, in terms of providing a second reliable, standalone water treatment plant, in addition to the one that we have today, which is Owen Stevens Water Treatment Plant. We believe when we put all those things together, and of course, great questions from you as it relates to the environmental stewardship, which we also believe that we have achieved that, and we know that the work's not done. We know we have more work to do, and we're prepared to do that. We're rolling up our sleeves, and we are going to get to work to make sure that we have what I would like to say is a best-in-class facility.
Mr. Molly, thank you. I do have a couple questions from your constituents, our viewers, so whoever wants to answer them, please feel free. What other votes will come before the council in the upcoming year regarding Inner Harbor?
Okay, I'll take that one. So really, the next vote that is would be undertaken for City Council would be a vote later this year to approve the guaranteed maximum price, which is essentially advancing the design of this project to approximately 60% design. And at that point, the contractor will have enough information such that they will be able to secure a proposed cost for the entire balance of the project. And at that point, the city council would be making a decision as to the next step, moving forward, that is, in terms of advancing the remainder of the project.
Okay, second question, is immediate curtailment from industry being seriously considered by the city council? Why or why not? I mean, this won't be online for a while, so that's what they want to know.
We're doing a lot right now as we speak to ensure that curtailment is not something that happens. And so, we are working tirelessly with a number of alternative water supplies. We recognize that the situation of the drought that not just faces our community, but many other communities in South Texas and in Texas for that matter, has got a lot of attention as it does. And so we're working on those short-term supplies. Certainly groundwater is one that makes a lot of sense. And so we're pursuing groundwater. We're also pursuing pulling more water down from water that we have already secured from the Colorado River and Lake Texana. So we're going to leverage every drop of water that we have paid for and own on those water supplies, in addition to, like I said, developing the groundwater sources that are in our region.
What percentage of water from Inner Harbor desal has been promised to new large volume users at this point, industry?
Well, I will tell you, this is water for the entire community. This is water that meets our 2031 demand projections. We know that there's many people that want to come live in the coastal bend. We know that there's businesses that want to move to the coastal bend. And so this is water that is available for not just our residents, but also for our businesses that are existing in our community today, and certainly for opportunities for folks that want to move to Corpus Christi and the region.
Everyone, thank you.